Today I'm going to show you how I went undefeated to 12,000 trophies using minor poison. Alright guys, so here we are hopping into our first match, going against this guy called Gustavo. So here he has a pretty crazy deck. He actually has a Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A, Elixir Golem, and Mega Knight deck, which is pretty insane. You know, the one thing about pushing up in Trophy Road is you guys always going to have to understand that you're probably going to run to Mega Knight probably 10 times out of 10 times you play this game. I feel like every matchup, I'm over exaggerating, but I feel like mostly the majority of my matchups, I always end up running into a Mega Knight, and I hate when I get caught by that surprise factor because a lot of times when they just drop a random Mega Knight on a tower, a lot of times I can't even defend. And you guys see my deck; it's not the most what would you say, like tanky deck. My deck is actually pretty squishy to Mega Knight, so Mega Knight is typically a big problem for me. But here I just go ahead and just spam some minor wall breakers, and as you can see right here, I did not expect to have a hero Mega Knight. So I'm kind of panicking here. I'm trying to get like hit the thing on the King Tower. I drop a Tesla up top to kind of take out the in front tower, but he does a really good job spamming the lumberjack on my tower, which is cool. And I end up having to pretty much eating most of that lumberjack before I kind of as you could say, target it with my wall breakers. But as you can see here, we're in a pretty rough start. But you know, I had a feeling that I could probably come back if I, did my best. The good thing is, you know, I think he has Fireball here. Yeah, he Fireball, so he ends up wasting a lot of Elixir. But even with that Fireball, we're pretty much even in Elixir, which is pretty crazy. He has a defending, like a counter pushing Mini P.E.K.K.A. As you can see right there, once again, my Mini P.E.K.K.A takes out my little prince. So yeah, excited for the nerf, as you guys know. I can't wait for the bounce changes to come out real soon. But here he gave me the well played. Well, I think a lot of times that I like about, or man, I can't even talk, but one of my favorite things about minor poisons is that you can always outplay your opponent. So a lot of times when they give me the well played, I usually like to lock in and win this match because it feels so good just to BM him back. Because right now he's feeling super confident because he has like a pretty good, size damage advantage compared to my deck, and he has a heavier deck too. So usually in single elixir with a cheaper deck, you want to take advantage, but here, pretty kind of got the best of it. I got really fortunate here with the Electro Dragon going first in front of the Elixir Golem, so it made it easier to defend everything. Here he once again, he goes and drops his Mega Knight with the Elixir Golem, which is a pretty crazy combination. He ends up dropping his Electro Dragon. Electro Dragon is a big problem for my deck too, but I end up taking a lot of damage here also. But the good thing is it is on the opposite lane, so overall it wasn't too bad because I was able to kind of even things out. But yeah, so here I just go ahead and spin my mono wall breaks. But once again, as you guys know, whenever someone has a Mega Knight, their favorite card and favorite thing to play in a defensive matchup is Mega Knight. So anytime they can throw a Mega Knight down, you guys know that they're always throwing the Mega Knight is always going to come down. But yeah, so here, as you guys can see, I'm actually making a pretty solid comeback here. He does end up snowballing my evil skeletons, but I do get a mini connection with the wall breakers. As you can see here now, from being down almost 3,000 damage to now being only down by 300 is actually pretty cool. Here he does play his Mega Knight once again. As you guys know, anytime they're in danger, you're always going to Mega Knight it out. So here I play some pretty good defense, just trying to kill that Mega Knight just because that knockback damage is pretty deadly. And then here he also has the Mini P.E.K.K.A, which is going to do absolute work. But the good thing is he did pop his ability really early, so I was able to get a nice roll delivery here, clean everything up, and also defend the Lumberjack. As you can see, we're actually getting more damage on the left-hand side than we do on the right. So here I end up switching lanes, but I don't know why he put his Electro Dragon on that side. For whatever reason, maybe he saw that it was actually lower. So he kind of like, I guess you could say, predicted me in a sense. But here I knew that if I defended this last push, that I'd be in a really good spot. So here I just get a pre-poison on the Electro Dragon, because the Electro Dragon is pretty tough to defend against. Here, as you can see, he gets a good chain on my tower, which sucks, bringing my tower down to 888 damage. But we do get a nice solid defense on the other hand, and we do use the wall breakers to go ahead and just push the little golem blobs out the way. I was hoping I'd get a wall breaker connection on that side, but as you guys can see, the pushback for the Mega Knight is pretty crazy. But he actually ends up going all in on this side and forgets about the evil skeletons that actually take out his tower. So yeah, pretty good win, man. All right, guys, so here we are matching up against Easy. This guy is actually playing Hog 2.6. I absolutely hate Hog 2.6, so anytime I can get a win against Hog 2.6, I always feel really good. So I'm gonna have to put this in the video because I did beat Hog 2.6 on my way to 12,000 trophies with minor poison, which was pretty cool. Unfortunately, he almost did outcycle me because I didn't have my Tesla on cycle. but I end up getting too quickly to it. He does pop his turret, and as you guys know, I hate the Hero Musketeer ability so much. I feel like Supercell should make the turret pop behind the Musketeer. That way it can nerf that little thing where it pops up and gets in your tower right away. But you guys let me know what you guys think down below about that nerf for the Hero Musketeer, which I'm pretty excited about. Like I said, all heroes are getting a big nerf in the upcoming balance changes in a couple of days. So here, I found that I figured, oh my goodness, I just had an evil stutter. I figured out he's actually playing against, well, I'm playing against Hog 2.6. So usually with this approach, I like to be a little more aggressive if possible and try to get as much positive look trades as possible as well too. As you can see here, try to predict me with the Hero Musketeer, which would have been a pretty good play. I think he does pop his turret here once again. Yes, he does. And if you guys didn't know, the turret does spawn in with splash damage, as you guys saw right there. That's the reason why my skeletons got just absolutely disappeared because, yeah, splash damage with the turret along there too. So it's pretty crazy, right? Not only does the turret pretty much take your whole tower, but also the splash damage on your units, which is so awesome. So balanced in my opinion. But here we're in a pretty good spot because I am up already being level 16. On top of that too, I do have a pretty nice damage lead. I do end up spamming my wall breakers here just to go ahead and make sure he doesn't have enough elixir to support his hog push right here. And unfortunately, we do get a solid defense here, which is pretty sweet. And then we end up logging this side for the skeletons. We probably didn't need to log here because they were in a straight line, but I logged there anyways just to be safe, because even myself, I have lost to evil skeletons too. So you never know, man, right? You gotta always be careful with what's going on here. So here I try to get a nice minor wall breakers, but he does use his evil ice spear and the log, which is pretty good. Anytime you can get an evil out of cycle, it makes things a lot easier to defend. Here you try to predict my Tesla once again with the Musketeer, but fortunately we are able to get a nice solid defense here and also take out the Musketeer. Actually, I lied. I didn't do that. I guess I forgot what happened there. But the good thing is I able to have quick reactions. He does get a shot on my tower, which kind of sucks. But overall, though, not too bad with defending that side right there. So here, I keep throwing some monsters to get some good chip damage. As you get, it's just that way I can just kind of stay ahead in damage. And so far, we're doing a really good job controlling the game here. The one thing about this player that I feel like he doesn't really do as good of a job compared to the other three Hog 2.6 players is that he's not really doing a good job at fireballing and playing some solid defense. Here I throw my miner there just because I was kind of afraid he was going to throw the turret down, which, you know, he's been doing pretty much every single time his Musketeer crosses the bridge. So I just went ahead and just played it safe. Here we were able to get the cannon out of cycle, but I do place the miner on the safe spot, but they're able to use the ice golem to push it off. But as you can see here, guys, we're like up 1,000 damage right now, and this is the way you want to play against a Hog 2.6 player. You want to make sure you become in control of the game, that you're making the plays and making him react to you instead of you reacting to him, because at the end of the day, Hog 2.6 is a really hard deck for you to cycle with unless you also have a 2.6 elixir deck, but typically that's not going to happen. So you always want to try to pressure as much as possible that way you can get this guy's card cycle out of rotation, which makes it a lot easier to deal with as well too. Here he's just fireballing the Tesla too, which is probably not the best idea, honestly, because he's committing 8 elixir for a push to get no damage on the tower. Like I said, typically other Hog 2.6 players end up just fireballing the tower just to get it off and get some more damage there too. Here he has a pretty scary push with the evil skeletons. I do miss one and I get pretty nervous. And here he does get a shot with he actually gets 2 shots with the Hog, which is pretty insane to think about. I also think Hog needs a nerf too, but you guys let me know too. I'm talking about every card needing a nerf, honestly, but dang, it's just that I feel like Supercell just doesn't really do a good job of balancing. But you know, that's just my opinion, man. Who knows? You know, maybe I'm wrong about this whole thing, but yeah, guys. So here I was hoping to get a connection, so super close, but that evil eye spirit did save him. And then he forgets about for some reason, I don't know why he did it, but he forgot about the evil skeletons once again. And just like I went against that Mega Knight player, I ended up getting a good win with evil skeletons, which is pretty awesome. All right, guys. So here on our next matchup, going against this guy called Hog Rider. Fortunately, he's not playing Hog Rider. He's actually playing the Pigs Archer Queen Earthquake deck. So the one thing I also love about Royal Delivery as well too is that Royal Delivery does such a good job against piggies. I feel like the Royal Hogs have been really popular ever since the Evo came out. So when I was playing with the Knight, I had a lot of struggle defending the Royal Hogs just because I had no splash damage. But having the Royal Delivery back into my deck has made the Royal Hog match was feel like a pretty much a win matchup for me anytime I play against them. But here, playing against that deck, I was saying Hog, Piggies, Earthquake. Oh, sorry, or Royal Hogs, Archer Queen, Earthquake is what I meant to say. My apologies. Looks like talking is too hard for me. But yeah, so here we get a good defense. As you guys know, you guys want to memorize the anti-earthquake Tesla placement. So right there in the middle, right there on the left-hand side next to the tower, and the top left-hand corner by the bridge are those are the three anti-earthquake positions for Tesla. So you guys want to memorize those just because it's going to help you a lot in matchups, especially like this, to avoid your earthquake and be able to, make sure that you're able to defend those Royal Hogs. So here he does mess up with the road delivery and it allows me to get one connection. So right now I'm feeling so confident because this is like the best start you can have, especially against this deck. Here he does play his Hogs right down the middle, but we're able to get a nice road delivery. As you guys can see, road delivery does amazing splash damage against him. It's probably one of the better defensive cards against the Royal Hogs, so it was pretty cool. He does play the Archer Queen. Archer Queen is another big problem for my deck too, because my deck is pretty squishy. But here I use the Little Prince and I pop the ability just because it's pretty much the same elixir. So 3 for 3 of 6, and the Archer Queen plus her ability is 6 as well too. Unfortunately, I did have to overcommit just a little bit just because the Archer Queen is a lot stronger than the Little Prince, as you guys saw right there, which is why I'm excited for that Little Prince, what's that called? Buff coming soon with the new balance changes. But here he does get a nice Earthquake and gets a little nibble on my tower, but that's okay. He does have a level 15 Earthquake, which is why I didn't kill my skeletons here. But here we do get a nice connection on the cannon, and we're able to get some good minor chip. As you can see here, we're in a pretty dominant position right now, up almost 2,000 damage, which is pretty insane. But yeah, so road delivery, once again, like I said, great against Hogs, but also really good against the Archer Queen as well too. As you can see, they were able to clean it up pretty solidly. Another reason why I love the road delivery against the Archer Queen. And here, I was trying to pop my ability to get a little cheeky, but it does get a nice road delivery in it. But like I said here, guys, look, I get a nice defense, nice road delivery, and a nice log. I'm able to clean all that up, which is pretty insane. So like I said, road delivery, log is pretty awesome. Here he BMs me. I guess he's trying to like show me that he made the ultimate champion, but I've also made the ultimate champion plenty of times too, so it's not really that big of an accomplishment. But I actually do have the ultimate champion, what is it called? Emote for when it was just a draft to make its ultimate champion, which is pretty cool. It's like the guy raising like a WWE belt above his head. I think I do play it here because he emoted me a lot, but I'm quite not sure. But here I mess up on the poison. And here he does take a lot of damage on me here too, which is pretty unfortunate. I take a lot of damage here, which really sucks because I have to play the road delivery on the left-hand side for the Archer Queen. But here he does get a lot of damage, and that was a big mistake. As you guys see here, I went from being up 2,000 damage to only being up like close to 1,000, not even, close to 800 actually. But fortunately, we are able to get the miner on tower and get some pretty good chip. And then here we're able to fix the cycle once again. He does get a nice, as you can see, log and earthquake on my tower, but so far we're still in the lead. Pretty big mistake there, but we're doing a good job at making sure we're keeping control. I tried to pop my Little Prince ability here, but I wasn't gonna get on time. I didn't want the Royal Hogs to go ahead and do a lot of damage on my tower, but here we're able to pop the Little Prince ability and make sure we avoid as much damage as possible. And here I'm starting to do a poison cycle on the tower just because he can't really catch my miner. The only thing he has to catch it is the skeletons, but obviously with a poison he can't catch. So here there's another great evil Hogs to get on my tower, but as you can see here, we're in a pretty dominant position. I just go ahead and get a nice minor poison here. I get a nice Tesla up top and to avoid their anti-earthquake position. And here I get a nice like road delivery, and we get a nice clean win against this guy to 12,000. So here he emotes me once again. But yeah, guys, I mean, good win overall. Using a pretty weird deck when I was playing against him, but anytime I see Dagger Duchess, I always feel pretty good because, as you can see, I have a pretty big tower difference, like close to 900 damage of an upgrade just because I'm low 16. But here I go ahead and log his witch. But yeah, guys, like I said, it was pretty cool being able to reach 12,000 trophies using minor poison. As you guys see, I'm a big Little Prince enjoyer, and with new balance changes coming out in a couple days, I'm pretty excited to see the Little Prince buff coming in because, big fan of him. Although he's not the strongest hero, it's still pretty cool to be able to use him in the best way I can here. It's pretty cool that Prince got that nerf right there too, because if it was pre-nerf Prince, it would have got a charge on my top for sure. But it's a pretty crazy spam deck. At first, I thought he was playing some type of bridge spam, but there he goes. He just pretty much drops all of his elixir right there at the back of the bridge. So, you know, we know what kind of player we're going against here. So here I do a nice defensive Tesla, just to go ahead and get everything down. And I also have the Royal Delivery. As you guys know, I'm a huge Royal Delivery fan. I kind of preferred over Hero Knight, but there are just some matches where sometimes the Hero Knight is better. But I feel like overall for me, Royal Delivery has been doing such a big benefit and like a big elixir positive trade for me when I do use it. So if you guys are on the fence by using Road Delivery or Hero Knight, I definitely recommend Road Delivery. On top of that, too, you know, it's a common card, so it's pretty easy to upgrade compared to the Hero Knight, I guess you could say. But maybe I guess not either, because since they're both common cards. But here, I get a nice poison on the Musketeer. The best thing to do here in these moments is just go ahead and be able to just kind of hammer everything down. There, the Knight or the Prince almost gets a hit on my tower, but I was hoping I didn't have to. It's a good thing I did it. I'm surprised he didn't zap here. They could get the zap in his hand. Probably could have zapped and got a free connection. But there probably was another misplay on the opponent's end because I didn't really have too much elixir. So I was surprised he didn't zap there. But here we go ahead and just hunker down for defense again. I mean, at this moment right now, as you can see, he hasn't even touched my tower yet. So I'm feeling pretty confident about this. I know that this is going to be more of a defensive match. So playing defense is going to be probably the, you know, the name of the game here. And a lot of times with these minor poison control decks, a lot of time you have to play some really solid defense and just be able to get like maybe one or two connections that you're able to get on the tower. But like I said, a majority of the time it's just pretty much going to be you playing some pretty solid defense, you know. So here we do a nice job of making sure that the Musketeer doesn't hit our Tesla. We got pretty lucky with the Tesla going underground and avoiding some of that damage, but as you can see, keep a Tesla alive, spend some more Teslas. And a lot of times you guys ask me what's the best way to defend with minor poison. If the person doesn't have a big spell, I would just recommend just spamming a whole bunch of Teslas, especially if you have Evil Tesla in your deck. I don't have Evil Tesla in my deck in this one just because I want to use the Evil Skeletons for more spell bait, so my Evil Wall Breakers can get connected to the tower. But if you do have Evil Tesla, I definitely recommend spamming a lot of Teslas because a lot of times the opponents have such a hard time dealing with them, especially as they go underground too. So it's a good way to kind of like get some pretty nice positive trades against your opponent here, especially when they have to try to overcompensate by killing the Tesla. So there, he does zap, and like I said, getting that zap out of cycle is pretty awesome for me because if I want to, I could go ahead and just do a minor wall break from the other hand. But here, like I said before, based on his deck, I knew that he didn't have any big spells, no big way to break into my tower. So I just opted in just to play some pretty solid defense because you know, it's just probably the best way to do it. If you had like a bigger spell, like a lightning or a rocket, or even like a earthquake, then things would be a little different because I would have pressure a little bit more. But since he doesn't have a big spell, like I said before, it's going to be a lot easier just to go ahead and just defend and not make sure you make any big mistakes here. The great thing about this deck is it has some pretty amazing defense, as you can see here. Unfortunately, the witch does get a shot on my tower there. But overall, though, as you guys can see, like I'm just spamming some more Teslas right here to get my little princess down. And my little prince here is going to be super valuable just because he didn't have a big spell to kill it. But here things do get a little dicey, as you can see here. Like I started to panic a little bit because I'm like, man, this is getting pretty scary. He does get a good zap here on the giant. He does end up using his ability, but I do use pop my little prince ability there to kind of take the giant off my tower. And then from here, I'm feeling pretty confident because there's no way he's going to break through with 30 seconds left, especially with him playing stuff in the back. The only way he could do that is if he play maybe like a giant at the bridge or something, but him placing even midway too doesn't give him enough time to take the whole tower. So it was a pretty good, solid defensive match. Around this point, I was like at 11,000 like 900 trophies. So this is like the start of my win streak here. It was a pretty solid win, just playing a lot of defense. And yeah, guys, good win overall. But as you guys saw against that last matchup against the Giant, I am at 12,000 trophies right here. But I appreciate you guys watching. And if you guys have any tips or any recommendations for any more minor poison decks, you guys let me know down below. And I'll see you guys on my next video.